Hello everyone and welcome to my week in Hawaii. I went to the Big Island recently and I had a great time, so I thought I would do a little art video but also show you some of my travels and adventures. I spoofed a lot of the things that I did in the beginning here, but we're gonna get into it and I'll show you all those maybe a little bit longer videos. The first thing I am drawing here is this bird that I saw in Hawaii, and it looked just like a puffin. I don't know what it's called, but look at this guy. He was so cute. So I took a picture of him. He got really close to us, so took a little picture and I knew I wanted to draw him. So on this page, this was still kind of early on in the vacation. We didn't see too many things, but I thought I would draw some of the things that I saw. This is actually the only page or the only thing that I did while I was in Hawaii art related. I thought I would do a little bit more art, but it was just a busy time doing a lot more other things, which obviously I'm not going to complain about. It was a great time and I'm glad I was able to jam pack a lot in there. So I think I will dedicate a few other sketchbook pages to more art related things from Hawaii, but at least I got these few things out of the way. What you see me drawing here is a buffalo, but this whole badge is actually from the national park, and we went to the Volcanoes National Park, and so I thought it was really cool to draw the little symbol of the national park badge. So this is the page all sketched out, and as you can see from our hotel room, we have this balcony and you could just see the ocean. So imagine waking up and going to bed every night just seeing that. Ugh, I love it. If you live near a beach, I'm jealous. So now I will go ahead and show you some sights from the trip. This was day 2 of our trip, and this is when we did get to see the volcano. It's an active volcano. It's Kilauea volcano, and it was on the other side of the island. And we were on the Big Island, but let me tell you something. It is not that big because it took about 2.5 hours to get there from the other side. So not that long of a trip at all. This made me feel like what probably seeing the Grand Canyon felt like. It was so expansive, so big, amazing. There were steam vents everywhere. I know there's some trips that we could have done at night where we could have actually seen lava flows. Didn't get to see that, but the steam vents and the volcano itself was really cool. As you can see, you could get kind of close to some of them, and it's very hot and steamy, and some plants thrive in it. And it's really funny because a lot of people don't like humidity, but these plants love it. So that was my second day. The day after, day 3, we went ziplining, and it was so freaking cool. Sorry, this video's orientation is whack. My mom took it on her phone. It's also not that clear. You get the gist. I ziplined, and I wanted to show you this last zipline that we got to do. Oh my goodness, so much fun. You pick up so much speed, and right at the end of it, you get to see the coolest thing ever, which I spoofed in the beginning, but wow, the views were amazing. I was stunned. I was so happy to do this. This was such a cool thing to do. So yeah, and then right about now you will see the piece de resistance, and that was the waterfall. Wow, that was amazing. It was so beautiful. I was like, man, imagine diving and then just swimming in that. Ugh, if only. So next, I will show you after this, when we were coming back, we passed along the black sand beaches, and oh my goodness, so amazing. As you can see, I'm currently on black rocks. There was a lot of people where the sand part was, so I took this video on top of the rocks, but the water just looked so moody, so gothic with the black. It just was so dark, but that's from all the lava flows. And I wanted to share that the black sand is actually not that fine. It's really coarse, so I would think to rename it the Black Pebble Beach, because it wasn't really sandy, it was more coarse than that. But an amazing sight, just so dark and so deep. It was beautiful. So back to the artwork, because I am an art channel, I thought I would draw that in there. So here is this plant. It was so cool. It had these little dot textures on it and coloring it you can't really see, but at the end when I did some line work I was able to kind of showcase that. But I decided to keep my color palette pretty limited. I brought a bunch of color pencils, but I didn't want to use all of them. And so I knew that the colors I wanted to use were like greens, yellows, reds, because that's kind of tropical. I knew I needed a cool tone color. Wasn't sure what I wanted to use for that. Decided on purple, which I was really happy about because I typically would do blue, but blue wasn't jiving with me. I wanted something a little bit more vibrant, and this purple color worked perfectly. Like, it honestly felt like it was a great color choice. So really proud about that all my colors were warm, even the green was warm, and I was able to cool things down with a nice warm-ish purple, if that makes any sense. But yeah, so in the bottom right hand corner you see the word Kona spelled out. That's actually the side of the island that we were on, Kona. So on the Big Island, there's 2 airports. You can either fly into Kona or you can fly into Hilo, and we were on the Kona side, which was really cool. It had a lot of beaches on that side. Really rocky, again, because of all the lava flows. Sometimes it would be like a cliff face that just leads into water, but still fun time nonetheless. I'm also coloring here this pineapple, which is super decorated and decked out. At the end, closer to the end of this video, I will show you a picture of this pineapple, but it was really cool. It was this fruity tropical drink. It was all things that you would expect. I had people who were on tables around us looking at it like, wow, that's quite the drink. And I'm not a big drinker, but you know, when in Rome, do as the Romans do, try the Roman way. So that's kind of that. But yeah, so this bird also here that I am coloring, I don't think I have a picture of it that I'm sharing here, but it was another cool bird. I actually like how I drew this one better. It looked like it had more personality in the way that I drew it, and I'm trying to now loosen myself up with my sketchbooks, just be real sketchy about it. I think I've talked about this before, but color pencils is really cool because you could get real scribbly, not care about it being refined or cute looking, just kind of scribble it on, and as long as your colors are cool, the piece kind of looks cool. So can't complain about that there. Also, you saw me draw these lily flowers at the resort. There were these lily flowers, and lilies are really pretty, so I thought I would draw that on this page as well. And I think that's it for what's on this page. The last thing that I'm coloring at the top left hand corner is obviously Hawaii. And so at this point we were still in the resort, and I was rushing to get this done because we had to leave for our next thing, but I got the coloring part done before we headed out. So this day we went snorkeling, and at first we got to see the Hawaiian spinner dolphins, and there were so many of them just jumping out of the water. So beautiful. It was like early morning and lovely. So we got to our snorkeling destination, and we got to see the Hawaiian coral reef. Oh my goodness, it was so big, it was so expansive, it was so beautiful. I've actually been snorkeling at a coral reef before in Honduras when I went on a cruise ride, and this was much bigger than that. So obviously I loved it. So many cool fishes. The sea urchins were prickly and scary looking, but a lot of yellowfish, these cool black fish with like this blue details. And yeah, so I took this video on my phone. Obviously it's not the crispiest quality, but you can definitely see what there is to see, which is really cool. So I enjoyed that. On the way back, I decided to show you all the water splashing into some of these black if I can speak, these black lava rocks. It looked like fireworks, the way the water would just kind of hit these rocks and just like explode into the air. It was so cool just to like see all that. And so I thought I would show that to you all because I enjoyed it. So yeah, I think while we were there, they kept telling us that it was a high surf advisory. The swell, as it's called, was pretty big. So a little bit not the best for swimming, but it was still a great time. And after this, I did go surfing, which was super cool. As you can see, here are my failed attempts. Boom, hit the water. So funny. I didn't actually get a video of me when I did stand up, which I did. So this is the photo of me standing up at the one time that I did great on this really baby wave. My boyfriend accidentally forgot to hit record and hit a picture, but you can see that I was doing it. I did it. I stood up. Surfing was super hard. I'll tell you what. It's an arm workout, and I didn't expect it. This video I'm showing you just to see how high waves got. Apparently some of the waves got pretty high when I was surfing. I didn't even notice it while I was out there, but the waves were crazy. The last thing that I did that day was see a luau that night, and there were so many great performances, but obviously I wanted to show you all the fire spinning one because who doesn't like a good fire spinning adventure? It's just so cool and mesmerizing to see. But yeah, while you're watching that, I just wanted to say surfing, a lot of fun. I've done snowboarding, I've done longboarding, wanted to do surfing in Hawaii, and that was my first time. Glad I was able to stand on the board twice. Had a lot of failed attempts. The most tiring experience of my life. Oh my goodness, it was just the arm workout. If it was standing, it would have been easy, but you have to keep swimming because obviously the waves try to take you offshore. So anyways, back to the artwork. This I had to finish at home because I didn't do any more artwork after that day on the island. So I decided to do the line work at home. And obviously this was colored pencil, so the waxy texture didn't work too well with the line work. So I tried to do a lot of the outlining first to get into the paper and maybe avoid some of the colored pencil. I went back at the end to do the fine tuning, but decided to do some honorable mentions with pictures and show you some sites that I saw. So here's the pineapple plant. Obviously Hawaii is known for pineapples. They grow in the ground, which is crazy. They look so funny and ridiculous. Next is the Hawaiian national flower, which is the hibiscus. And this yellow-red combo is actually the true national flower, and how it looks yellow and red like this is the national flower. Then we got to see a bunch of big monstera plants just all around, just out in the open. They grew so huge, so I had to take a picture because it puts my little monstera plant to shame. Here's that pineapple drink I was telling you about. Look at how amazing and fruity and ridiculous it looks. It was such a fun drink. And then obviously next I wanted to show you some of the tiki statues that they had all around. So cool. You get to see this like all over, and just, you know, a true testament to the Hawaiian culture. I did actually get to see a rainbow while I was out there, which if you didn't know, Hawaii is known for rainbows. They have it on their license plate. They have it on their driver's license. So it was great to be able to see that from the hotel. Last but not least was me kayaking in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. First time touching the Pacific Ocean and kayaking in the Pacific Ocean. First time kayaking in any ocean, and it was the Pacific. So that was really cool. Kind of scary because knowing that the surf was high that entire week. But as long as you stay away from shallow waters, you're definitely not going to get hit with a wave that's going to flip you over. So cool time to just be out in the water and just enjoy the Hawaiian style of life. So yeah, that was really cool. I saved the best video for last. As I said, I haven't actually spoofed it in the beginning, but we're getting onto that, and that was kind of the thing that we did the night before we had to get ready to get back home. So you're gonna see in a moment, but the coolest thing ever, because it's a force of nature, and that was the manta rays. Look at this big person. Well, I guess not a person, but she was so huge. The female manta rays actually grow, I think, to be a little bit bigger than the male manta rays. Don't quote me on that. I think that's what I heard. But most of these that I saw here were actually female. I didn't actually get to see a lot of the males, but yeah, so they were feeding on plankton. So we had these big surfboards with lights. The lights attract plankton, which are all those white specks you see. That's not dirt. That's actually little plankton. And the light attracts the plankton. The plankton attracts the manta rays. And manta rays are different than stingrays. They actually can't harm you. They don't have any stingers. They just have a hole in their face, and that's how they absorb plankton. But don't worry, if I did see a stingray, I would have pointed my fist at it and said, I will not forgive you for what you did to Steve Irwin. But it's okay, because these were not the same ones. These were manta rays. And just the huge hole in their face is just ridiculous to see. It's just like a filter, and they get so close to you. You're not allowed to touch them, but a few people had them. The manta rays actually touch them. You just have to be respectful. They might glide against you, but really cool creature. Anyways, thank you so much for joining me on this journey, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.